In the quiet village of Odenigbo, surrounded by lush, forest, and rolling hills, there lived a woman named Nneoma. Nneoma was not ordinary woman. She was a healer, renowned for her wisdom and skill in using herbs to cure illnesses. The villager believed she was blessed by the gods, for no ailment seems to be too great for her to heal. Women gave birth in her small mud walled house, and even the kings of Odenigbo, Eze Obinna, sought her help when he fell ill. Nneoma had 4 children: Chijioke, Ifeoma, Ekene, and Nnamdi. They were her joy and her pride, and she taught them everything she knew about herbs and healing. Though she was respected, whisper always followed her wherever she went. Some villagers, led by jealousy and fear, claimed she had sold her soul to a goddess in exchange for her power, especially since she had become a healer after the death of her husband Okonkwo years ago. One fateful morning, Nneoma woke her children early. "My children, today you will go to the forest and gather leaves for the herbs we need. Many in the village are sick, and I cannot do anything alone." The children eagerly obeyed, happy to help their mother. But as they entered the forest, tragedy struck. Marauders, fierce and armed, descended upon the forest, capturing anyone they found. Chijioke, Ifeoma, Ekene, and Nnamdi were among those taken. The marauders, a cruel band led by a man named Gbenga, transported their captives to a faraway settlement where they were forced into slavery. The 4 children were made to work on farms, their hands blistered from endless labor under the scorching sun. When the news reached Nneoma, she wailed in agony, "Chineke, my children, where are they? Who will help me find them?" But no one in the village dared to face the marauder. Even the king refused, saying, "Nneoma, it is beyond my power. Pray to your gods for their safe return." The villagers, already suspicious of her, began to murmur, "Her children are gone because she gave them to the goddess," some said. Why else would this happen? They accused her of sacrificing her children for more power, and soon Nneoma became an outcast in the village. Years passed, and Nneoma lived in sorrow. She continued her healing work, but the villagers treated her with disdain. One day, a man with leprosy was brought to her. His skin was disfigured, and the stench of the decay surrounded him. Nneoma recognized him immediately. It was Gbenga, the leader of the marauders. "Help me," Gbenga begged. "I have traveled far because I heard of your power." Nneoma stared at him, her heart filled with anger and pain. This was the man who had taken her children, but her voice was calm when she spoke. "You are in the hands of the gods now. If they wish for you to be healed, I will help you." For days, she treated Gbenga, preparing special herbs and bathing his wound. Slowly, his leprosy began to heal. Gbenga was amazed. "You have saved my life. How can I repay you?" "I need no repayment," Nneoma replied, "but tell me, where are my children?" Gbenga's eyes widened. "Your children? Who are they?" Nneoma described them, tears streaming down her face. Realization dawned on Gbenga. "They are alive," he said. "They are in my settlement, working as a slave. I did not know they are yours." Gbenga returned to his settlement, and freed Nneoma's children along with others who had been enslaved. Before letting them go, he gave them a portion of his wealth, gold, jewelry, and food as a gesture of gratitude for Nneoma's kindness. When the children returned to Odenigbo, the villagers were stunned. They came with carts of wealth, their bodies strong and healthy despite the years of hardship. But instead of celebrating, the villagers and the elders turned their anger on Nneoma. "You gave your children to the goddess," they accused, "and now they return with wealth, proving your part." The king summoned Nneoma to his palace. "Nneoma," he said, "Stanley, the people are uneasy. You must leave this village. Your power are too dangerous, and your presence brings fear." Nneoma stood tall, her voice steady. "Eze Obinna, have I not healed you? Have I not brought life to this village? My children were taken, and I mourn them every day. But I did not give them to any goddess. They are here because of the mercy of the gods, not because of your false accusations." The villagers summoned, but the king was unmoved. "You must leave by tomorrow," he declared. Nneoma's children stood by her side. "We will not leave our mother alone," Chijioke said. "If she goes, we go with her." But before they could leave, word spread that a new sickness had struck the village. The river has become poisoned, and many villagers fell gravely ill, including the king himself. He had no choice but to turn to Nneoma once more. The news of the sickness swept through Odenigbo like harmattan wind. People stormed through the village with fever, eyes and trembling hands. The cries of pain piercing their ear. Their river, once the lifeblood of the community, had turned against them. Many whisper it was the gods' punishment for how they treated Nneoma. At the palace, Eze Obinna lay in his chamber, his skin clammy and his breath labored. The royal physician could do nothing but wring his hand in despair. The elder in the village gathered in the square, their faces lined with worry. "It is Nneoma," said one elder, "Chinwe. We drove her away, and now the gods are angry. We must beg for her forgiveness." "But what if this is her doing?" countered another elder, Ndukwe. "What if she poisoned the water to punish us?" The argument raged until a young woman, Adana, rose to speak. "Whether it is her doing or not, she is the only one who can help us if we do not act. The entire village will perish." Reluctantly, a group of villagers made their way to Nneoma's home. They found her seated outside, grinding herbs, while her children prepared the evening meal. Despite everything, she had not abandoned her work as a healer. "Nneoma," Chinwe began hesitantly, "the village is in grave danger. The river is poisoned and many are sick, including the king. We beg you to return and save us." Nneoma looked up, her face calm but her eyes sharp. "You drove me away," she said quietly. "You accused me of wickedness, tormented me, and threatened to banish me. And now you come to me for help." Chinwe fell to her knee, her voice breaking. "We were wrong, Nneoma. Forgive us, please. The village needs you. Without you, we are lost." Nneoma studied the group before her, her heart heavy. She had every reason to refuse them, to let them suffer for their cruelty. But her spirit was not one for vengeance. Her calling was to heal, and she could not ignore it, no matter how much she had been wronged. "I will come," she said, "finally, but only because innocent lives are at stake, and when this is over, the truth will come to light." The villager led her back to Odenigbo, where she began her work immediately. She sent her children to the forest to gather special leaves while she examined the sick. Their symptoms were severe: fever, rashes, vomiting. She knew the river had been tainted, likely by a plant or substance carried downstream. Working tirelessly through the night, Nneoma brewed potions and prepared poultices. She instructed the villagers to boil all water before drinking it and to avoid the river entirely. Slowly, the sick began to recover, their strength returning. Even Eze Obinna opened his eyes, his fever broken. By the time the sickness subsided, the villager was filled with whispers of Nneoma's power. But as she packed her things to return home, a group of angry villagers led by Ndukwe confronted her. "You may have saved us," Ndukwe sneered, "but we still believe you are behind this. How else will you know the cure so quickly?" Before Nneoma could respond, a loud cry came from the edge of the village. A group of travelers has arrived, carrying a sick man on a stretcher. To everyone's shock, it was Gbenga, the marauders' leader. "Help me, Nneoma," he grasps, his voice weak. "I ignore your advice, and my sickness has returned." The villager reconciled in fear, recognizing him as the one who had taken Nneoma's children. But Nneoma stepped forward calmly. "You will not die," she said, "but this time you must tell the truth about my children and everything that happened. The people of the village must know." Gbenga nodded weakly, his eyes filled with regret. As Nneoma began to treat him, the villagers gathered, their curiosity overcoming their fear. "Speak, Gbenga," Nneoma said as she walked. "Tell them what you told me." And so, Gbenga told the story of how he had taken Nneoma's children, how they had worked as slaves, and how Nneoma's kindness had saved his life. He described how he had released the children and given them wealth out of gratitude. The villager listened in stunned silence. When Gbenga finished, all eyes turned to Nneoma the elder, including Chinwe, bowed their heads in shame. "We were wrong," Chinwe admitted. "You have suffered greatly because of our ignorance and fear. We owe you more than we can ever repay." But before anyone could speak further, a deep rumble echoed from the forest. It was as though the earth itself was stirring. The villagers turned toward the sound, fear flickering in their eyes. Something was coming. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want us to continue the story, please drop comments in the comment section, like, share and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.